Welcome to the Nutmeg Show. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Hello, friends. And producer Todd. I'm doing some new things with audio and video this week. And so if you're there, please chime in to see if
Yes,
things are echoing or if I do apologize. It's echoing in my ear, but that
that's to be
that's to
expected.
be expected. But if it's echoing online, I'd sure like to know.
Yeah.
Oh, looks and sounds good, he says. Yes.
Woohoo.
It's so hard to test without doing a live stream, but here we are. I've
Yes.
said before in the past, I dislike the shows who do a live stream and they go live like 15 minutes before, and
Yeah.
then you go and watch the thing online, and you have to scrub through 15 minutes of like slides or whatever.
Yes.
Cut that garbage out. We don't do that. We start right into the show. Right
Yeah.
into the show.
And hey, Grandma.
Hey,
Welcome in. Sounds good in Tualatin. Yes,
all
local
right.
Tualatinite.
Very good.
We're prepping for this Sunday, October 20th, is the giant pumpkin regatta on the
Yes, it is.
commons where they paddle pumpkins around the pond.
Should we
It is
go and broadcast live on our channel?
broadcast live from the pumpkin regatta. And Saturday at Stickman Brewing, you can go to the Great Weigh Off. Where they weigh the pumpkins. Isla and I went last year, and it is a blast. So it's a wild frenzy of activity in Tualatin this weekend
Yeah.
for all to enjoy.
Sorry if you heard a brief piece of music starting to play.
Yeah.
My Apple device heard something
Oh,
from what I said that triggered it. It's lucky
yes.
it didn't get thrown across the room.
Yes.
Address for S.
I
Hey,
don't
Grandma.
know.
I'm not sure what you mean, but hey.
Grandma. I do like that name. Hey, Grandma.
Oh, Stickman Brewery.
Yes, Stickman Brewery.
Yes.
Brewery. And I do have a hat on. And speaking of breweries, this is one that I recently pulled out of the
You
archive.
need a smaller head.
It is Ninkasi Brewing out of Portland, and this was their ground control beer that they made, which for some reason I had in my head, and you corrected me before we went to the Retro Gaming Expo. Ground Control, the legendary Portland Retro Arcade, control is spelled with a K, which for some reason in my head, I thought this was a collaboration with the arcade,
I
but
see.
they spell it like English
Like
for
regular.
this one, but it does have a little astronaut
It does.
on
It's
there.
very cool. Very, very cool. And where are you today?
I am in my new podcast studio for the Ride podcast. I just typed it into Chat GPT, and this is what it thinks podcast studios look like, where you have individual monitors for each person's audio feed
Yes.
and microphones just coming out everywhere, and the
Yeah,
word
out on the
ride
wall.
in neon on the wall.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
hey, Grandma, it says that was supposed to be what's the address for
Oh,
Stickman Brewery?
it is on Herman Road.
So, if you
One
know where the
nine,
railroad tracks are, no.
yes, 19475 Southwest 118th. So 118th and Herman Road, which runs parallel to Tualatin Sherwood Road for
Yeah,
all those. We're gonna like the Californians on Saturday Night Live, which we were talking about before the show,
we were. And
where they
remind
would just
me,
talk about California highways the entire time.
is Stickman, is that the place where you can throw the axes?
Yes, they
Yeah,
do have axe throwing. They have some great pizza. They've got
pizza.
a pizza oven in there, great beers as well, and a lot of huge pumpkins this weekend.
Are you
So,
featuring a cup? Because if not, I'd like to feature
no, go ahead.
my Weskin
Mm,
Coyotes, or as they say in everywhere else, Weskin Coyote,
yeah,
my school's alma mater. I won this cup by going to a
nice.
reunion and being the
Well,
furthest away.
you know what is a coincidence beyond coincidences? I do now have a koozie to show off
Okay.
that I picked up this weekend. The Linfield Wildcats, my alma
Oh,
mater. Me
wow.
and some buddies got together, got an Airbnb, and went out there for homecoming for homecoming. That many years since I've been in college, 25 years since I graduated from Linfield, which is now university. It was Linfield College while we were there.
And you
But
studied swimming there, I believe, and
yes,
math.
Elementary education with
Oh,
a
that's right.
minor in technology education.
Oh, so
But I did
no
participate in
wonder
this.
you fell into teaching technology to people who are not nerds,
Yes,
which
exactly.
that's what
I
the
have a
show is all
college
about.
degree to be doing this thing.
I have a college degree as well. And
Yes.
let's just say my college degree brings all of this audio and video to you, my
Yes. Yeah.
friends.
Yes, indeed. Well, before we get to our main topic, we do have a couple breaking news items. One of them is the first one. Quietly this morning, Apple put out a press release introducing a new, faster iPad mini, the
Yes.
beloved iPad mini. Dave, you have long been a fan of the smaller form factor of the iPad. Do you currently own? Well,
I
of course
yes.
you currently own one, but
I
do you
currently
use
own
one?
one, but this summer, when we had our family get together, I lent it to my niece so
Oh,
that she
that's
could try
right.
it out. And she still has it in the Kansas City area. And when this announcement came out, I was really jonesing for it. So
Yeah.
I think I will talk to her. I mean, she's probably listening right now. Who doesn't listen to the Not
Yeah.
Nerd Show? But anyway, I own one, but it's not currently in my grubby
Yeah.
little hands.
Yeah, so this one is mostly a spec bump. The overall design is the same. It runs a new A17 Pro chip, which the A17 Pro was in last year's iPhones,
Yes,
but
my
it's
iPhone has
faster
that
for
chip.
the iPad mini, faster GPU, neural engine twice as fast as the previous model. It also supports the new Apple Pencil Pro, which it
Mm-hmm.
didn't before. It comes with 128 gigabytes of storage as the base storage, faster Wi-Fi, and it's got a faster USB-C port. So,
Oh,
but it will be compatible with Apple Intelligence, which is why most people think they release this now because
yeah.
Apple Intelligence should start. I believe it's the end of this month.
Look at
The
this, though.
updates.
Dropping the price of the base model to $349. It
What?
was like $449
No,
before.
it's still $4.99. I think
What is this?
that's the base
Oh,
model
the
iPad.
Air or the base
Yes,
model iPad. Oh
yes.
man.
Yeah, not the Air. This one is $4.99 still, so it's more expensive than the bigger base model, but it has some more features than the base model.
We
So,
should read some of the comments here.
well,
I bought
211 of them.
I bought the
Be careful
cellular
showing those
version.
on screen.
Yeah.
Over at The Verge. I do like their,
1200 bucks.
the sub-headline of all the target market for this, they say every pilot's favorite tablet just got some welcome upgrades. Now, they say every pilot's favorite tablet. I'm
That is an
I'm going to
ultimate
go out on a
statement.
limb and say there are pilots out there where the iPad mini is not their favorite tablet.
They there's somebody out there who loves the 10-inch Kindle or the
Yeah.
Kindle 7-inch,
The
and they put all
Samsung
their
Galaxy Tab.
or one of those Samsung phones that folds out
Yeah.
into a tablet. That's their
Yeah.
favorite tablet.
Yes.
Yes, you
So,
can't make ultimate statements like that. It's just
and
dumb.
dumb. But and why you would address tablets in the subheadline when it applies to lots of people. But if you were looking for an iPad mini, they just released new ones, and it's got some nice little upgrades to it. Should be much faster
Yeah.
device, which we did believe there still could be an Apple October event where they're going to release some new computer stuff. So either they were just trying to get this iPad mini out of the way so they could focus an event or a video on the computers, or they'll just do like they've done in the past, where every Tuesday morning you just wake up and there's something new from Apple that they announce. So we have not confirmed what the rollout is, but we should see more Apple devices this
Yeah.
month.
And hey, I
So,
wanted to give a shout out to Train Guy who
oh
just said
yeah,
hello in the comments. I believe Train Guy is affiliated with Hey Grandma.
yeah.
Um,
Welcome into the live show.
and did you know that the Train Guy has a YouTube channel.
Oh, yes. Yeah, go check him out. You can click through the live chat there. And producer Todd, why a pilot's favorite tablet? Do pilots have some sort of special reason for using tablets that other industries don't? Yes, all of their flight books that used to be the majority of that rolling carry-on suitcase that they would carry with them, which were like manuals and flight information stuff.
Yeah, yeah, the
Now it's all in
charts
an
so you
app.
can know where you're
Yeah,
going.
charts, all the stuff that the computer just handles for you now, all of that is on at least iPads now. So nearly all pilots have switched to iPads, not
Yeah,
every pilot,
every
as their
pilot.
article
It is a
claims.
lot more convenient though, no
Yes.
matter how you slice and dice it. And I want to quickly apologize. I rearranged the content on my monitors, and the web one is up here. So I
Oh,
catch
just
myself because
staring
there's a
off into
delay.
the
It looks
here.
like I'm looking up in
I'll sit
space.
up a little taller, and then you
Maybe.
can look up at me like the Brady Bunch. We do need more guests just so we could do more of a Brady Bunch thing. The next piece I wanted to just mention was we talked last week about the Submerged short film
We
coming
did.
out on Apple Vision Pro. And I did get a chance to watch it. I believe last Thursday it came out. And it is really surreal. It's I think, about 17-minute movie set in, I believe, World War II submarine.
Set in a submarine.
Submerged. And it has a storyline. There's two things. It is so cool to watch because you've got the immersive video, so it's 180 degrees, half circle of viewing angle, and then you also have the 3D depth built into that.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized the reason why they did found a story about a submarine is that it is such a controlled environment for doing immersive video, because this is an old submarine. So it's like the maximum width of any room that they were in was maybe 12 feet. So it's very easy to control the environment.
Mm-hmm.
They do. There is a scene, no spoilers, outside of a submarine at some point. But yeah, it was very interesting, very cool, and there's a lot more of the immersive video stuff coming. And apparently, they have a behind or a making of video that I don't know if that was out before, but
Yeah, I did
very
watch the
cool. And the
recap.
retro submarine was just cool. So you have, the big old knobs, and you have different things that are in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was very fun. And at one point, the main actor is submerged.
Oh, how on the nose is that?
Yes,
I don't want
yes.
to play too much of the trailer because Apple will yell at
Oh yeah,
us.
we don't want Apple dinging us. But if anybody out there has an Apple Vision Pro, first of all, let us know so that you and I can talk about it. Second of all, go watch Submerged in the Apple TV app on
And
there.
third of all, I wish they would just release it for MetaQuest 2. So
Yeah,
me and the rest of my Meta fanatics.
meta.
Nobody.
You
Uh,
meta. That's
reg-
so meta.
yeah. Hey, Grandma says, hey, he's so excited with 350 subscribers, the train guy. If you like
Nice.
watching trains go by, that's the
Yeah.
channel for you.
He is ahead of us. We're currently at 312. We have been slowly raising our subscriber number, but congrats
So
on
maybe
that.
Train Guy needs to do a shout out of a
Yeah, yeah.
reminder show on his
We're
channel.
gonna hop one of those trains that's going by you, but that is very fun. YouTube is a getting emotional, magical place.
It is
Uh,
magical.
but I do want to move on to our main topic, and I know he's a polarizing character, and we have brought him up on almost every episode. But Elon Musk can not stop making news. Some of it is political in nature, but
I,
also the stuff he's doing with all his 10 different companies that are all multi-billion-dollar companies.
I
It
think it
is
has
just
to do
wild.
with his magnetic personality and the charisma and the way he's such a fantastic public speaker. I'm being
Yes.
facetious on all those. He is one of
Yes.
the
I
most
did see
awkward,
him.
hard to listen to people
Yeah.
ever.
He has gone through some training because we discussed that years ago on the podcast. I'm just like, this is the worst thing ever. And I saw parts of one of the ones we're going to talk about, one of his events this week, and he's gotten better. But yes, he also is on the autism spectrum, and which is part of what makes him so good at what he does. But the first one you probably said, oh, and let's see, I'm getting a side note from producer
Oh,
Todd.
I've been chatting with him
Okay,
about my volume. I
yes.
initially turned it down because my desk was very
Oh, your desk
evident,
tapping.
but I think it. Who knows what's going on? Maybe I just need to lean in closer. Hey,
There you go.
welcome
There,
everybody to the Not Nerd Show.
NPR live. But the first story, you probably saw a clip of this if you've been online at all or watching any TV. But with SpaceX, they basically caught a massive
Oh,
rocket with chopsticks.
that's
Um,
cool. You know what? You know what's funny is when I'm turning up my microphone, it's not turning up my microphone. It's turning up my my earpiece.
your
What?
monitor, you're
How
like,
is
I
this?
am getting louder.
How does this work? That's what?
Yes,
I'm confused. Oh well,
yes.
it is what
But
it is. I'll just talk a little bit louder.
voice modulation syndrome. From the from apnews.com, in an engineering feat, mechanical SpaceX arms catch Starship rocket booster back at the launch pad. And it is unreal to watch this thing, just the massive scale of this rocket. So this is the booster rocket that the spaceship launches off of, and then that would go further into space. And then in the past they just dumped these things in the ocean. Maybe they could salvage some parts, but they have these mechanical arms and it slowly comes in and just catches it. And there's a little video of the blast off and
And it's like
just the sheer power of those things.
it's like broken. I don't the web it's not playing the video.
the, the
So I'll
web
just
is
scrub through it.
broken.
But it comes down. You're seeing the backside of it's not that close to the tower. But it'll land next to the tower, but between the arms so that it
Yeah.
doesn't fall over. Now, I've seen them land these things on floating platforms in the middle of the ocean. So
Yes.
why does this one need to be caught by arms when the other ones
I
didn't have
believe
to
it's
be?
because this is the large version.
Oh,
The Starship is the most massive.
oh,
One.
okay. This is the gigantic one.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the big dog. The Falcon
Yeah,
boosters
that thing is
is
massive.
so yeah, this one is much bigger. But yes, he also did, I believe was the first one to be able to land them back on these little
Oh, yeah.
floating helipads.
Isn't it strange that for the past 50 years we've just been shooting we spend a couple billion, we make it craft, we shoot a little tiny little potato up there, and then the rest just comes crashing down into the ocean. It's
Yeah.
just used once. That it took us this long to get something so sophisticated that we can reuse the thing. And don't even get
Yes.
started about the space shuttle. That was supposed to be the dream of space shuttle. It ended up costing them more to do it that way than to throw away rockets. But I sure love the
Yeah.
space shuttle, though. Man, it's a
But,
cool machine.
yeah, cool. I mean, truly an engineering feat and amazing accomplishment, on that one, but he wasn't just okay with having that happen this week and having this video be all over the internet. He also held an event for Tesla, so that was
Okay.
SpaceX, and then for Tesla, he did the We Robot, announcement where they invited a bunch of press and YouTubers and everybody. Sorry, I've got some indigestion. I
What's going on?
apologize to
You have to cut over
Dave
to me
and
so Nate can,
viewers.
you know.
Yeah, have a
So
moment.
when you said we robot, I was
Yeah.
thinking small, but it's we
No, it
like
is
us.
like us,
Yeah.
which there has been some claims online from, I believe, somebody involved in the movie iRobot saying some of the stuff looks like iRobot stuff, but they
Oh,
announced,
I get the pun now. It's a play
yes,
on iRobot. I am so
yeah.
slow. What in the world?
But they basically had 3 different, products that they featured. The Robotaxi, which looks very much like a Tesla, like Model 3, It's completely autonomous, no steering wheel, no gas, no brake, just a giant
Hmm.
screen, 2 seats, and you go in there and, even more futuristic looking than a Tesla, if you may, but the and they say he says now, strong disclaimer, especially with Tesla, is there have been lots of, I wouldn't say promises, but lots of plans that have been oft delayed with Tesla products, with the cars, with the full self-driving. But he says that these will be released in the next couple years, and they will be about $30,000. So the idea is you could buy a or have a fleet of these robo taxis, or you could have one for yourself, and it would drive you around. Then you could have it go be a taxi for other people. Um,
That's
but
I would love to have the 60 grand or whatever it costs to buy one of these things and then just earn that money back by using it as a
yeah,
taxi.
like
But people are going to puke in it and leave trash and I mean, how do you deal with all that?
yeah, there's rules for that. Taxis do exist, Uber, all that stuff, but
Yeah.
they also did the Robovan, which looks very futuristic. And this is basically the Robotaxi, but it's for groups or goods. Um, from mass transit to construction to food service, the Robovan. And then the third one that they had is the Tesla Bot. Now, they've shown this Optimus robot before, but this one, they had a bunch of them there, and they kind of had this party afterwards, and they were serving drinks, and they were talking to people, and doing all kinds of dancing and stuff. They were talking about the fact that in the future you'll just buy one of these robots like Rosie on the Jetsons, and
Mhm.
this robot will just do everything for you. It'll be your friend. It'll all be AI, all this stuff. There's some strong suspicions that there might have been humans running these robots at this party just based on
Yeah.
like speaking through it and somebody remotely. But I don't even care about the AI stuff. Looking at these robots, which look like humans, just walking around doing all this different stuff is pretty amazing. So it's kind of a prototype, or what do they call that in the car world, where they have a like a dream design of a car or something.
I think
Uh,
prototypes what they call them.
this stuff has not been will not be released soon, but he just wanted to do this showcase because he has nothing else going on in his life.
Yeah.
Um, And I did want to touch on one other thing I didn't put in the show notes. We've been talking the last couple of weeks with the hurricanes and the Starlink. Well, there's a bunch of huff and puff about him only giving people 1 free month of Starlink service as they recovered from the hurricane. I did see Starlink SpaceX, which is Starlink. They've said throughout the end of the year they will provide this no cost Starlink service to people in the affected areas from the hurricanes. And I looked it up. Tesla or Starlink, Elon himself donated over 10,000 Starlink satellites for
Wow.
people to use in the hurricane areas.
Well, I
So,
mean, this is great and all, but I don't know why I mean, I don't know why anyone would complain if he was just giving away one free month because
because he's Elon Musk,
well, but
Dave,
thinking
I don't
about this,
know.
so this is a service that you need to communicate with other people, to keep in contact with emergency services, friends and family, all that stuff. It's a very crucial service. Now, is Hulu or Disney Plus, which you're still subscribed to? I mean, you're not going to, the hurricane comes
Is
through,
T-Mobile
destroys
or
everything. It's like,
AT&T
oh, I'm
or
going to pause all
Verizon?
my services that I'm subscribed to.
Yeah,
Nobody else is doing it. And this
yeah,
is like something you need. Those are just, throwaway garbage things. It's just funny that you
yes.
should
And
be
I
paying him double.
I know. And I will remind people we are the most nonpartisan tech podcast on the internet.
That is true.
But I will admit, Elon is a polarizing figure. He has endorsed Trump in the election, which obviously is a very, very polarizing decision.
Well,
But
there's two
yes, at the same
candidates,
time,
so
he
polarizing.
is doing very good. Yeah, polarizing. Um, yeah, you can separate like that from this. And there was actually a story I was watching today with it's like the California Coastal Commission is trying to get him to stop being able to launch his rockets and stuff. And I don't know if he was doing it in California or whatever, but they were basically saying because of some of the things he's posted on X, he should not be allowed to launch rocket ships
That is
in
stupid.
California. It's like,
Well, I don't
okay.
think he. I
I
mean,
didn't think he was doing them in California, but it was so I don't know if it's because he's in the US and it might
oh,
affect the
you know what?
California.
I think he was doing some launches off the coast of California
Hmm.
because the way the world, as the world turns, you want to launch from west to east. That's why
Oh,
Texas and Florida are great candidates because what's on the east side of those states, they're near the equator and they go east. So again, the way it
yes.
works, that's the best way.
The
So I
world
think
tour.
he did some launches off the coast of California so that when they launched, they weren't over land.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 100 miles out in the ocean. So maybe it was in California
That would
waters or
be
something like that.
yeah, that would make sense with the California Coastal Commission, but
Yeah.
yes, he's an interesting character, but man, there's some cool stuff coming out of his, companies,
Yeah.
and
Just
also
don't
on
listen
top
to
of
him.
that
Just ignore him. You don't have
yeah,
to
the
watch Twitter. You don't have to
no,
do any of this stuff. Just
no,
leave it alone.
the US government, like, canceled the contract with Starlink to provide as part of their rural broadband
Mm-hmm.
plan, so that's come up as well. It's like all these people in North Carolina, if that would have been part of the plan, they'd have internet, and, man, go all over the place. This is like the Mr. Beast episode. If you ever wanna see me ramble for a long time, go back and watch the Mr. Beast episode we did. But, I don't even know what I was gonna say. Oh, rural internet,
Elon
Starlink,
Musk,
Elon Musk. I might have
SpaceX.
lost it, and my apologies. But that's alright. That's alright. We can probably
Well,
get lost on it,
maybe you could
but the
think of
rural
like a
broadband, they've spent billions of dollars and not one person has internet yet. And Starlink, it's connecting everybody.
Have you heard of the government? Anyway,
I I have. I have heard of the government and,
well, we
um,
lost the train
get
guy
out
because
there
he's
and
like,
vote.
I don't want to listen to politics
And I don't
on the
know enough
beast
about
partisan.
trains, but
You
you know what you do know about?
what's that?
Dave's pro tip of the week. Oh, I almost did. I got ahead of myself with the microphone there. I was so excited for this one because I learned something new when I saw this.
Well, you know what? I was ready to go with just the headlines. My good thing I moved my finger off the wrong button. So the tip of the week is this: you guys are going to be amazed
Yes.
and wondered. No, what's the word I'm looking? Mystified,
Mystified.
mystified. So I'm sure everybody at home.
What'd we do?
Okay, I think I know what happened. Uh, the the sound thing was not copied to that profile. So give
Oh,
me one moment. Okay, can you hear me now? You can hear me now. So I'll start over. All of you out there with iPads, thanks, hey Grandma. I think it should be back. I guess we'll just wait to see if everybody has my sound. Okay. Yes. Okay. So what I was saying before is that everybody out there has an iPad, of course, and shout out to all my homies. The new thing in iOS 18 in freeform, and then the calculator app, and yes, the iPad now has a calculator app, and in Notes is this math notes, and it works kind of like this: 12. You you write like 12 times 6, and you put the equal sign, and it will solve the thing for you. Now, that's a great tip in and of itself, just to use your Apple Pencil. Heck, you can even use your finger, and you can write on your phone. You can write on your iPad. It don't care. It just works. Let's do another one. One that I would probably get off the top of my head. 94 equals, and it's going to solve that. Of course, everybody knew it was going to be 6,946. This is the tip. This is the pro tip, as I would say. You can touch one of the numerals. Let's touch the 6 in the upper equation. And you'll notice that a little scroll wheel element appeared. Now watch what happens when I touch it, and I'm going to scroll left to right. It's going to increment the number up and down by just sliding this element. I'm going to go down to the 652, and I'm going to highlight it. The element comes up. Boom. Yes. Now, wouldn't it be cool? Let's try this. I've never tried this before. This is a live. Let's do x plus 12 equals 18. Is it going to solve for x? Dismiss error. It doesn't know. It doesn't know. What I was going to try to do, I was going to see if it would, if I could change the result and it would update the x, but that's for another show, I guess. But yes, you can do complicated things like 2 times 6 divided by 4 equals, and it's supposed to use the order of operations to do it correctly. Oh, okay. So hold on. Let's go back here. It's funny that the whole time I was talking, you couldn't hear Nate because he didn't really have anything good to say.
It depends on which view we're on.
Yeah, so he works on this view, and I'm going to copy.
I was showing that it does work on, if I can look at it backwards, it does work on the iPhone as well. You can do the math in there, and it will.
So just go to Notes or to Freeform or to something else. Okay, I'm going to switch back to iPad real quick and add your audio. Don't talk, Nate. Your video might come up as well. Okay. Now can you hear Nate? Maybe. No. I was on the wrong one, so never mind. Let me go back. I want to solve this. I want to solve this problem.
Solve this problem. We're solving math problems. We're solving audio problems.
Yes, problems all around. Okay, I'm going to switch back.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
So
there
now,
we go. There Nate, I am off the screen.
You're on the corner, but your audio, the most important thing is your audio will be there.
Yes.
Now.
Nice.
Okay, so my apologies to those at home. Nate didn't have great things to say, so
yes,
the parts that you didn't hear while we were on this screen. But I'm going to start using my iPad more, and spoiler, even later in this episode, I'll be using it. So I wanted to make sure that it was working.
Yes, and producer Todd, good grief, get it together over there. I keep having to wipe fried chicken off my fingers to type these comments. I apologize.
Okay, for extra credit, producer Todd, if you want to take a selfie of yourself and send it to me, I will show it on the show.
Yes.
I think everybody wants to see your greasy fingers.
Nice. Very nice. Well, yeah, that is very, and I played around with the Apple math or the math in there a little bit when it first came out, but that's very cool that you can just do that slider. And it's just such a fun, pleasant experience. Math isn't necessarily a fun experience, but doing this with the handwriting on a screen is pretty cool to do.
I think math's pretty cool. I'm just terrible at it. Which is why I'm so excited about stuff like this.
Very true. Well, I believe it is time for everyone's favorite segment, just the headlines.
And
do we have any driveway camera?
We do have some driveway cam. And just you know, for those of you tuning in for the first time, we don't always have technical problems like this.
Yes.
Only every other time.
Yes.
So
We have improved
yeah.
over the year and a half we've
Well,
been doing this
this
live.
iteration is supposed to be an improvement. And if you're wondering why I keep reaching out and doing stuff, there's a little gnat that just keeps flying around. Like, where did you come from, gnat?
Where?
Go away. Anyway, that's driveway cam. We've got a warm fall
Yeah.
evening. It's in the 70s, I believe, or maybe high 60s.
62 now.
62 now. It's cooled off a bit, but man, look at all those leaves everywhere.
Yes.
Cars are buried in them, especially the ones that people park that they never drive that have expired tags that are across the street over there. Those are just full of leaves.
Yes, yes. And hey, Grandma says, now Jackson wants to use my magic pencil.
Let
Get
him.
on that iPad. Let him do math.
Just say, here, boy, do all your math on this, and then you'll never have to
Yes.
learn any math.
Yes. And maybe after we get done with this segment, you can share the photo that Todd got his extra credit for.
Okay.
But we will get
We'll do
ready.
our segment first.
Yes. And go back to our side by side because it's time for Just the Headlines. Dave's going to start us off.
AI girlfriend site breached. User fantasies stolen. Ooh, wait, I better go. What's the website?
Yes. Red Dead Redemption finally comes to PC 14 years after its original release.
Wow. Nintendo announces new game hardware, an alarm clock.
For $100. TikTok lays off hundreds of staff to replace them with AI.
Wimbledon line judges will be replaced with AI next summer.
And robot vacuums hacked to shout slurs at their owners.
Nice.
And those are just the headlines. There was a lot of AI taking over the world in there. I didn't really realize how much AI dystopianism was in our Just the Headlines segment
It
this
should
week.
have just said just the headlines. AI. And then
AI is now doing just the headlines. Oh, I should
we should
try that next week.
Just the headlines, and then I press a button and it reads it. I heard the door creak open. I wonder if my lovely wife wants to be on the podcast. You want to come and say hello?
Wives. We're still got to do that Just the Wives episode. Hello.
We've got Todd. We've got Hey Grandma.
Yeah.
We've got
the train guy.
We got all
other
kinds
people
of people
that haven't chimed in yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just the headlines. Let's move on to our takes of the week.
Okay.
The first one, Amazon and Apple strike a deal to bring Apple TV to Prime Video. Or Apple TV Plus. So all of their content, like the famed show sitting there that I can't remember the guy's.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Come on.
But this is Apple TV Plus is very interesting because it is so different than what Apple usually does, and it's all this content that they're making and spending millions of dollars on. But now, and I think it is, if you just have Amazon Prime, you don't have TV Plus. It's $9.99 to add it on, but lots of people have Amazon Prime and Prime devices with that app on it. So now you can watch some of the great content on Apple TV Plus.
And if you're tired of paying for Apple TV Plus or Apple Music or Apple Games, what is that? Or Apple Arcade, just go buy $1,000 phone and you'll get 3 months free of all those things. So every 3 months, just buy a new device. Any Apple device, really.
What a deal.
You know what? Here, I just thought of this. What if every year you bought, when the new Macs came out, you bought a Mac, and then 3 months later, you bought the phone, and then 3 months later, you bought a new iPad, and then you just, every quarter, basically, you just buy a new device, and you never have to pay for Apple TV Plus. Boom.
What a deal,
That's
man.
a pro tip right there.
Yeah, and, Todd did send his picture if you wanna get
Oh,
that, ready while I talk about the next one.
I guess so.
The nobody well, not many people really care about, but Adobe is having their big Max, conference. Actually, a friend of the show, Dylan, sent me a picture with my hat supplier, Aaron Draplin, at the show together. They took a selfie together, but it's their big thing where they announce all their new products, and you're gonna be shocked to hear this, a bunch of new AI tools in a lot of their stuff. They've done some improvements to I've been using the Photoshop AI tools, the generative, images and, generative fill in there, but they're
Mm-hmm.
also there's one of them where it will look for objects in your photo that you'll probably want to remove, like a phone wire or, some garbage in the corner. And then you just press a button and it'll take all the distractions out of the photo. But
Yeah.
all that stuff continues to move at the speed of light. They've also got, there are a ton of text to video generators that are coming online. Adobe's going to put it in their Premiere where you could actually take like a video and expand. Like if you had a square video, you could make it into a 16 by 9. So AI photos happened, and now AI video is just continuing to go crazy. But yeah, they have the picture there where you can basically, it'll show like there's some people in the background and a phone wire, and you would just press a button and it would
Wow.
remove the different objects in there that you didn't want to see. But
And
it's pretty
feel
wild.
free to Photoshop this next photo right here. There,
There it
producer
is.
Todd.
I'll have some fun in Photoshop with that one. Producer Todd has moved on from his fried chicken to his after dinner appetizer,
Savory
as he
Chex
said.
Mix.
Oh, that does
One.
sound delicious with the
Mm.
Not Nerd show on, doing some work on the laptop. Ah, yes.
Well, it looks like he's got the
Love it.
the YouTube up on his laptop, and he's got it up on the big screen. I mean, he's just not nerded out.
Yes, yes, he is. Well, our next one, actually, thanks, producer Todd, the Mark and Toddcast got to this one on their previous episode. Um,
Is this security and privacy?
yes.
Is it?
Yeah, this one is, and this is from the NIST, which is the National Institute of Standards and Technology, who has long set technology standards for governmental agencies, and it kind of spreads out from there. But one thing that they have done is their password recommendations. And they've released their second public draft of SP 800 63 4,
Oh
the
yeah.
digital identity guidelines, and there is a lot of praise for this, with some of their new um, practices that they put in the standards where, like for instance, um, verifiers and CSPs shall not require users to change passwords periodically. However, verifiers shall force a change if there is evidence of compromise of the authenticator. So
I'm
we've all
talking to you,
experienced this.
Key Bank.
Every 3 months, you have to change your password. They're finally putting it into their standards saying they shall not make you do that because they have found that it doesn't make sense because you just say robot 123, robot 124, robot 125, and you don't
Yeah.
use strong passwords when you have to change them.
And it's very
Uh,
easy if one of those is compromised for them just to add a numeral or something at the end, or if it's
yes,
exclamation point. Now it's two. Now it's three exclamation points. And it's like
yes,
I got like 19 on there. So yeah, this is always infuriating because you know which passwords have not changed. Maybe I shouldn't be admitting this for the longest time is my Gmail password, my
yeah,
Apple account passwords. I've had the same passwords, uncompromised passwords, forever
yeah.
because they follow good practices. You know which ones? I actually had to do an expense report thing today and had to do all this stuff because the password's only good for a little while. And I do the report once a month. And so, like, every second or third time that I do it, I have to change the password. It's just maddening.
Yeah.
The password was fine.
Yes, yes. And producer Todd did say you should go as generative Phil, PHIL, for Halloween, like the Photoshop. That's
That's
That
good.
is a good one. Oh, and thanks Train Gave for the shout out to
Oh,
Not Nerd.
nice.
But there were other standards in here, like composition rules requiring mixtures of different character types for passwords, minimum lengths, all this different stuff. They've changed a lot of the standards to what has been found to make more sense. All that to be said, please use a password manager. The new Apple Passwords app, if you're in Apple land, Bitwarden, uh, LastPass, One Password, any of those where you have one strong master password, and then in there you can have it will generate complex random passwords for you so that every site you have a different password because we have breaches on breaches on breaches. Uh, Yes, and there's also stuff about the, shall not prompt subscribers to use knowledge-based authentication.
Oh, like,
Example, what was the name of your first pet? Or
yes.
security questions when choosing passwords,
I
because
hate
people
those.
can name that kind of stuff, which Microsoft Windows requires that when you set up a new
It's the
account, but
dumbest thing ever.
so I am very excited for these new NIST standards, and hopefully that'll be rolling out quickly. Next up, we talked about it last week because it was Patch Tuesday, but this time we actually have the update for Microsoft and more. Patch Tuesday, October 2024.
Yay.
And Krebs on security. Microsoft today released security updates to fix at least 117 security holes in Windows computers and other software, including two vulnerabilities that are already seeing active attacks. Also, Adobe plugged 52 security holes across a range of products, and Apple has addressed a bug in its new macOS 15 Sequoia update that broke many cybersecurity
Oh,
tools.
no one's immune this month, huh?
Oh, no, it is all over the place. And so, yeah, make sure you're keeping your stuff updated. And hopefully, the new update doesn't break things. So then they have to release a new update
And you
because
know that
that
thing I wanted
happens.
to talk to you about after the show? I think
Yeah.
an update broke a thing.
Oh,
So thank you,
lovely.
Microsoft. Thank you for the
Yes.
extra work.
Yes. And I've been trying to avoid the breaches, but this one from Bleeping Computer: Internet Archive hacked. Data breach impacts 31 million with an M users.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah, so the Internet Archive's The Wayback Machine, which lets you look at previous versions of websites, has suffered a data breach after a threat actor compromised the website and stole a user authentication database containing 31 million unique records. Ugh.
That's a lot.
Yes.
So I guess it's not a problem if you don't have an account there, I guess, but
Yeah.
still, that's a
But
problem.
some breach somewhere today affected some account you have, or this week at least, I will say.
Well, let's
But yeah, the Internet Archive. Who's going to be a threat actor against the Internet Archive? They're
some
doing good work.
probably Nintendo since they don't like their ROMs and stuff being
Yeah.
there. Hey, let's this article mentions HIBP, have I been
Oh yeah.
pwned? And it's worth going to. The website
Good
is
reminder.
have I been pwned, PWNED.com. And it looks like this blue thing. Don't go to the wrong site, I
I'll
suppose.
even put it in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the
I
chat.
should be putting the links in the chat
So let's say Dave at notnerd.com. Have I been pwned? Good news! No
because you
pwnage
haven't used
found.
the account for anything.
Right. What about Nate at notnerd?
Yeah, check that one.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
it's been
It's been
pwned.
pwned. Teespring.
Oh
In
no.
2020, a custom printed apparel website, Teespring, suffered a data breach that exposed 8.2 million customer records. The data included email addresses, names, geographic locations, and social media IDs. So
Yeah.
there you go. And this goes on and on.
Got
You
us a
can,
little free press.
yeah,
Hey, I'll take that. I need to sign up with Not Nerd more places. Get that information out there.
yeah.
Get some
Thanks
new
for.
subscribers from those hackers.
They're like,
God,
what's
I never
not
thought of
nerd?
it
Let's go
that
check that
way.
out. They're listening right now. So anyway,
Beautiful.
it's a great website, and they've got other tools at the top that you
Yes.
can
Very well.
click on.
Troy Hunt, I believe, is the gentleman behind that. And it has been a wonderful tool for helping out with that stuff, and he's usually right on top of it. So we had 3 security and privacy stories, but it's 2 good ones, kind of. Well, 4 with the have I been pwned. So we finished with that to kind
Yeah.
of cleanse it. But I've got a good one for a bonus odd take for us to help us forget about all that negativity. And this one I came across, I believe, through kotkey.org, but it is the BBC sound effects library, where they have 33,066 different sound
Wow.
effects that they have put together. And they have it says it's showing the top 300. And the first one listed is labeled as Tawny Owl Strix Aluka Nesting Bill Snapping. Everybody's been wanting to download that one, put in their YouTube videos.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is to refresh this page because I have blockers on. There we
Oh,
go.
ooh,
Can you hear it?
yeah, I can. Wonder if the listeners at home can
I don't
hear
hear
the
an owl.
tawny owl.
I want something
Well,
better.
it was just nesting bill snapping.
Oh,
So,
okay. What's this peregrine falcon? I bet it's good. Ooh,
whoa,
that
Tom and
is
Frog.
that is
So
something
I have
else.
not dove into this.
Now, are these free to use? Can we use them in our
I
podcast?
believe so. I believe it is a free. I believe I read that before I got to this link.
It's
I
a bunch
clicked
of
on the
animals.
question mark icon and it just turned the page
I want a
dark
different
gray.
category. We're gonna do something else. We're gonna do toys.
Licenses and usage. Do. What's all of this about content? Few rules. Don't mess with our content.
Oh, wow.
Yes, don't use our content for harmful or offensive purposes. Don't make it
Hmm.
look like our content costs money. Don't make it more prominent than non BBC content. Don't exaggerate your relationship with the BBC. Don't associate with advertising or sponsorship. Don't be misleading of where it came from. Don't pretend to be the BBC, Dave.
Yes, I
But
won't.
yeah, it looks like you can use it as long as you're not making money off of it or doing nefarious acts. But
And it looks like a friend of the show, Wes, says that he has been pwned.
yeah,
Sad
yes,
face.
we all have.
We all
We
have
all
some of our
have.
accounts. This is going to be creepy, I'm sure. Here's toys, Mama doll.
Mm.
It sounds
That
like a
does not sound like
cow
mama.
or something. That's terrible. Here's another one. That does, oh, these are just, they're not saying mama. These must be really old toys. Now they have AI
Yeah.
with like
Yeah.
robots inside.
Now it's chat GPT and all the toys.
Yeah.
But yeah, 33 33,000 different sounds. They have categories.
Wow.
131 applause videos. Just applause.
Or
716 clocks.
oh, we got to
307 2,000 of daily life. Ooh, comedy.
here we go. So I told my wife, "You ate all the bread." Thank you, thank you. I've been writing that one for quite some time. No, goodness, please stop. There you go. What are you listening to? I can hear it coming through your speaker.
Yeah, I put my microphone down there. Crowd panics after your joke.
No,
Uh,
that was a good one.
yes, but yeah, go check out the BBC sound effects library. There's a lot of fun stuff there, and you might be able
That
to
was
use it
fun.
to be creative.
Thanks
But
for
you know what
finding all
else
the
you
fun
can use
stuff.
to be creative?
What's that?
Our picks of the week.
Excellent. I'm glad I remembered to turn the echo off, or that would have been funny. So back to my iPad. I shared this with my son the other day when we were talking about uh, Hurricane Milton down in the Gulf of
Oh yes.
Mexico. Uh, there's an app that I shared with him so that he could see in very clear terms where it was and what it looked like and all that stuff. And there have been apps like this before. This is an iOS app. I do not know if it's available for other platforms. But it is called Ventusky. Now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's VENTUSSK or TUSKY. It's got sky at the end. And if that gives you a clue, This is a weather related app. So here is the current conditions for North American continent. And one thing that's unique, not entirely unique, but unique to apps like this is the vectors for all the wind that's
Mm.
moving. So you can clearly see, like out here in the middle of the Pacific, there is some type of tropical depression or something going on where there's a spinning type circulation in the ocean. It also shows the temperature in the color scale here. Blue being the coldest and red being the hottest, of course. And it also has, if you tap on these little cameras, it'll bring up a webcam for many places all over the world. Now, and you can scroll back and forth and you can play it. This is earlier today. It's dark in the Gulf right now. But this is 6 cameras pointing in all different directions. And if you wanted to know what the middle of the ocean right there looks like, but they also have things on land up here in Greenland, everybody's favorite land. You can look at this camera and scroll back. Look, it's this little research center or something up there that's
Wow.
being, yeah, it's really cool. And I could spend a lot of time just surfing through all the data. Let's take a look at our buddy Elliot down in Melbourne. See what is going on down there. Doesn't look like the wind's too much. Oh, there's a webcam there. Let's see what's going on there. It's going to be. Oh yeah, I was looking at this before. There are most of the webcams down in Australia are of airports on land.
Oh,
But
okay.
but anyway, this is one TYABB TYYTYA, whatever that means. Australia webcams. And
Yeah.
you can look at like a over 24 hours. And one thing I didn't show you is that you can look at the current screenshot and 24 hours ago screenshot. It'll
Oh,
update
wow.
both of them. So here's yesterday and the day before. So that was yesterday. This is live yesterday. See that
And
helicopter? It took off or it landed, I guess, since that's the
yeah,
new one. Anyway,
very
that's
cool.
Ver, Ver
Fantastic.
yeah, Ventusky.
And I did look it up. It is available on the web, iOS and Android. So
Okay.
on your computer, you can pull it up and have a larger screen, but you can take it with you on your devices as
And
well.
it's free to use. I believe there are some in-app purchases if you want some additional information. But I mean, the free app, look, it gives you look at these. Do you recognize these? Cold fronts, warm fronts. So it can give you some education if you ever were interested in
Yeah.
meteorology about how all these things work. And this is where a cold front and a warm front are colliding, and there's typically weather along those
Mhm.
front lines. And we've got some weather up here. And earlier, it must have been earlier today or maybe yesterday, up in the Oregon area, there was a front coming across that brought in all of this rain and clouds and stuff. So
Very
anyway, it's
nice.
pretty cool for all of you armchair meteorologists out there.
Yes. Yes. I was going to look and see how much the premium
Oh,
was because that is pretty cool. Let's see.
well, I
In-app
can.
purchases 9.99, and it looks like you just unlock it. It doesn't look to be a subscription. So
Yeah, I can't remember if they. Um, let's take a look on. I'll bring it up here because people at home want to know. They want to know what's
yes.
going on. Oh, it looks like there's an update too. So
Oh, good.
I should do the update. But here we go. I always scroll down. This is a miniature pro tip. You scroll down and it says in-app purchases there in the center column. Yes, if you tap that, it'll tell you what it's for. And so it's 1 year premium. Looks like it's only for a year
Oh,
there.
okay.
So
Mine came up in a different language under that part, but
yeah, mine did too. That was kind of weird. So
interesting. Very cool.
yeah,
Very cool
I
pick.
love it.
Well, my pick, I don't know if you've noticed if you've been around the show for a while, but I like my trucker hats.
Yes.
And a while back, now I buy a lot of trucker hats and I will oft complain about how much some people charge for theirs. But I found a solution for that with the
The solution is not buying them.
No, 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 let's
Oh,
not be ridiculous. The EENOUR hat press machine, mini heat press for caps with 3 heating levels and auto off. Handheld cap easy press with 3-inch by 5.5-inch arched heating plate for 6 to
wow.
8 hat size, 19 to 26 girth. But yes, so this is basically an iron that is curved so that you can take a hat, not while it's on your head.
Yeah.
And it's got this little thing where while it's heating up, it sits in there. But then the genius part, there's this little base that you put the hat on and put it on there. So this is a little bit of a tease because I've been playing around. I made a couple hats, but I've got a much better method now. So more on that later, but yes,
Hmm.
the EENOUR is the one that I got, and I was looking around while I pulled this up earlier. There's other brands available. This one was pretty well rated, but then after you upgrade from these, you get like the big one with the crank on it, where you can
Yeah.
really do the hats. So there
So
might be a hat business in my future if I can get a good system down with these.
interesting. So it's going to allow you to do the one that where there's less, it's less evident that there's something
Yes,
around.
yes, yes. Because like I made the Dave drone hat and my Apple hat, and I just used the printer transfer, like T-shirt transfer paper.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have got a new thing called direct to film transfers,
Ooh.
and I've got over here a small stack of hats, blank hats, so that I can get different designs made and put them on there. So
How fun.
uh, yeah, yeah,
Well,
make my own hats. I can be creative with that.
now I like hats like the rest of like everybody else, but I typically wear like the flat cap driving hat
Yeah.
type thing. And so if you're ever like, man, I'm gonna make Dave a trucker hat and give it to him, I probably won't wear it.
You gave me the not nerd one back that I had made from some website a while back. So now I have two of those, which is nice. And hey, grandma says, God forbid Nate should have a wrinkled trucker hat.
Uh,
No, it is for applying designs, or
yes,
even like this with the patch. If you have an adhesive patch,
yeah.
you could iron that on. So it's
I
for
mean,
ironing on
I
designs,
can't believe
creating
it's taken
custom.
you so long to get one of those with as many
I
hats as
know.
you have. Now,
Well, no, I have had it for a while, and I'm finally getting around to using it. So that's part of it too.
well, it's coming around time for our show to end, but I did want to
Yeah.
mention that last week I said I ordered that
Oh, your
DJI
drone. Yeah.
Neo or whatever it is. So here it is. It's very small. Like, look how small
Wow.
it is. It's there's
Yeah, that is tinier than I would have even imagined
it's the size
knowing
of
that
my
it was
face.
small.
If somebody says, "How big is that drone?" I'd be like, "Ah, it's about
Face.
one Dave's face,"
Yeah.
you know. And then it's coming, and I'm going to say it. I've got all the footage shot for my little. I wouldn't call it a review. It's a first
Yeah.
look video,
Yeah.
and I'll get it edited, but I'll put it on the show here, or on the, not the show, on the website very soon. Although we could show it on the show, I suppose.
Yeah. We can show a
Um,
little bit of it, but
just
put
a
it up as a
couple
YouTube
minute
video.
little YouTube video. So be on the
Yeah.
lookout for that. But there are many good
Nice.
YouTube videos out there which talk about it. So you can,
But Dave's will be the best
I
because
mean,
we like Dave.
well, my video will feature me. That's what you're
Yes.
really coming to watch,
That's
not
where
this
the
piece of plastic. What is
no,
this?
no, the Daveness of it. And you, if you want either of our picks tonight or previous picks like that drone, you can always head over to notpicks.com, click through the links there. We got a bunch of affiliate links. A lot of those links are for Amazon. So we've got our Ramazon purchase of the week. And somebody, I believe this probably maybe went with the one last week where we had the swivel plugs
Yeah.
that we featured. Now, this is the Cable Matters 3-pack grounded outlet with on off switch, single outlet switch, on off plug switch in black. So, yes, they're
Do they have an
plugs
on
with a
off, I
switch.
wonder?
Yeah, yeah, they do have an on off. But these are pretty cool. I could see a use case for these if you had, something that you just wanted to have a nice switch. We've talked about smart switches. These
Yeah.
are a dumb switch plug, but if you need
Yes.
to add a switch to something, and make sure that it's off, or if you can't reach the regular, if you had a light that was mounted up on a wall or something like that. But yeah, these are very simple. And for a 3-pack, it was $7.99. So I should probably just buy some,
Buy those.
because why not?
I did want to mention, though, as we discuss this product, which I think $7.99 for a 3-pack is a very good price for those. But if you can get a good deal on the smart plugs, they are much bigger, of course, but actually, I think every single
Are those
one.
the Maras? Oh no, those are,
Mine's a Ghost Sun, and I have multiple, but they
yeah,
all have a little switch, a manual switch that works just like that on-off switch.
yeah.
So if you have these lying around, or if you can get them really cheap
If
on
you
some
have them
deal,
laying around like we both did
yeah,
on our
yeah,
desk.
then you could forego the dumb switch. But these are much more expensive. These are
Yeah,
like $6 or $8 for one, and you're getting a triple pack there. So
yeah,
anyway, I just wanted to remind people, if you have a
yes,
drawer full of
yes.
them not being used because you don't want to set them up, well, just use them as an on-off switch for your product. So
Exactly, exactly. I just dug these out of a bin the other day and said I should use those for something.
yeah,
So always be using your technology. A B E
it's the
U
ABB.
Y
Always be
T.
buying.
A
Oh,
boot.
ABBT. Always be buying technology.
Yes, yes. Through notpicks.com.
Yeah.
Well, we will wrap up. Hey, give us a like on the video. Thanks for everybody that showed up in the live and commented there. Comment on the video. It will be on YouTube. We are still in all the podcast apps with the audio as well. And yeah, we just keep going for it, because every week there's tech news and we want to help you tech better.
That's right. And I should have been playing the outro music
I
the
was
entire
kind of
time.
waiting. I can keep talking though.
Yeah.
I can keep
Yeah.
talking.
Like he said, be sure to like and subscribe. Ding that bell.
That's that bell.
Check out the train guy.
Yeah.
And
Producer Todd, Dr. RIP VHS.
yes. Good night.
Good night.